popping off right now. YouTube, TikTok at the same time. Trying to test out a new little process of communicating with y'all. But I appreciate y'all coming to check me out. What's up? Welcome back to the channel and all that good stuff. I appreciate y'all coming to check me out. What's good? I had a few subject matters I wanted to talk about right now, and that's what I'm about to do. So welcome back to the channel. One of the major things I've been seeing going on out here right now is Diddy. You know, we got Diddy out here, and he's dealing with what he's dealing with as far as his lawyers go and everything like that. And this is like a response. I'm thinking like this is week like 13 or something like that, week 14. And they actually started to go back and fight and respond back to the allegations that he's been charged with. You know what I'm saying? So I was going to try to chat about that with y'all real quick on the simulcast. You know what I'm saying? So, but after all, you know, it's been a long time, and they even saying it's going to be a whole another month of this shit. You know, so it's really crazy for him, man. You think somebody couldn't fall from grace this level? So this was the guy got to say. You can hear him talking right now.
To Sean Combs. Well, witness Mia is still on the stand, being cross-examined by Brian Steele. Sean Combs' lawyer brought up from Atlanta after the Young Thug trial down there. And he just keeps using these social media posts, although he got into evidence, this birthday greeting. So now it's in evidence. And he's now, the issue seems to be that he hired Sean Crowley, civil attorney, expert here in the SDNY, and he wants to bring in, he had already just won a big judgment and then named it, but Mark Agnifilo, the lead lawyer of Sean Combs, says they're going to be talking about it over this break, what can come in. Now in the morning, Brian Steele said he'd finish maybe by lunch, maybe after. Well, it's going to be after. And after they already, a guy called Eddie Garcia has been given immunity. He invoked his Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination. So that should be a witness this afternoon, if and when Brian Steele's cross-examination finishes. It's really something. We're covering this trial. We put up, I want to say, I've seen some even more kind of insane AI-driven misuse of tweets saying things happened that didn't happen. So you could find for week 3 the book on Google Play. We're going to do another one. It's kind of like a blockchain. That's how I view it, just to make sure that
This the guy who basically they're allowed to be inside the courtroom on the Diddy trial. It's not no cameras allowed to be inside the room. So they got this guy is in the city press. So for the last weeks he's been doing the research on this particular case, but he's done it for other cases too, like other cases that might be federal and you can't get cameras in there, or even cases that you can get cameras in. He does like a breakdown on everything that's involved with the case. So it's like, okay, cool. So that's basically how you get to know what's going on a different case. So in this particular one, he said that they doing a cross-examination on old girl Mia, who is the person who has been one of Diddy's assistants, and she's been saying some salacious stuff, really downright diabolical shit. So they fighting it and trying to speak up for Diddy behalf, but just the cross-examination from his lawyers. So it's just a lot of shit that Diddy got to go through right now, dealing with this. You know what I'm saying? So say week 14, still cross-examination. Then Garcia take the 5th. Oh yeah, so it's like a whole lot of it's week 14. So they talking about another month. You talking about 20 weeks trial. You know what I'm saying? That he gonna be the half went through to get through this shit, and that's crazy. So they must be on break or something like that, because they're saying when we come back, we'll soon show documents. Have a good break. Agnifilio. We'll talk to the government over the break about the witness's lawyer. So the scenario going down where they're on a break and then the lawyers get together and they start talking and shit like that. I know Diddy wishing they would be talking about letting him out. Like, hey, can y'all have that conversation? Like, what the fuck? Don't have no meetings if you ain't talking about letting me out of this damn jail. So that's what Diddy going through right now, man. But it's crazy because he put a lot of his life out there. You know what I'm saying? You would assume that he'd be all good. Putting so much of his life in the media, putting so much of his life out there, trying to be a celebrity, trying to be an artist, and then you see everything just crumble. You know what I'm saying? Then somebody at that level could crumble. It's like, wait a minute, I thought this nigga was Teflon Don. Like, it was nothing like this could happen. But I don't know if it's like what they call that, karma, or if it's like, something's supposed to happen to everybody after a while. You know what I'm saying? Like, how long you gonna be a celebrity musician, rapper slash mogul before it's your end, before it should stop? How long is that gonna go? But it's been going for decades. You know what I'm saying? So, and he's been able to sustain it. But getting into a beef with Cassie, it just put him in a bad look, because she's not your friend. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, she's not your buddy, and she can't stand you. Like a lot of relationships be, when people break up, it's like, I hate this person. You know what I'm saying? And that just be it. You know what I'm saying? Nothing you can do. So it's a good idea to just try to fight back like he doing. But for me, I get on the stand. I would be up on the stand, and I make sure that what old girl talking about would not be. You know what I'm saying? I'll be defending myself. I get right up on the stand and be like, what happened this day? This what happened that day. What happened this week? This what happened that week. What happened when you was doing this? This what happened when I was doing that. And you might even seem a little bit more egregious or pompous, or all these words that they're trying to do to, act like you are still a criminal, but you'll be speaking up on your behalf. And that's critical. You know what I'm saying? Just talking and saying what your truth is, that's important. Not to be just let somebody come out here and say some foul shit about you. So, like, subscribe, hit the stars, hit the hearts, hit the roses, all that stuff. Show some love. So I want to get back on here and keep talking to y'all. Definitely, get at me, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, so we can contact each other and be in communication with each other. Because I know y'all got a lot of stuff to do. I got a lot of stuff to do, but it's still good to communicate and have conversations about what's going on in the world. I'm always going to be a person that like to talk about the stuff that go on in the world. That's a part of freedom of speech in America. No matter what you want to talk about, it's available for you to have an opinion, to have an assertion, and an idea. And it's good to talk your smack. You know what I'm saying? Some people want to be entertained more than just by the norm. You know what I'm saying? They want to hear the everyday person opinion about stuff, that's going on. And that's incredibly important. You know what I'm saying? Because we all are seeing the same shit. Ain't none of us like hiding out or not seeing what's going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? Because even if you don't want to know, it's going to come across your cell phone. It's going to pop up. You're going to hear it, and you get to make an opinion about what you're seeing and hearing. So for me, listening to somebody like Cassie make decisions where she wants to still be around somebody after they said, or even as Mia chick, she's saying that it was times when Diddy whooped her butt, or even arred her, and she stayed around, or she flew by the town with them another place. And it's like, what? But she did. And it's like, why would you do that if this person is being foul towards you? Why would you travel from here to there with them? It make no sense. But she'll do that because she's benefiting from it. She making money. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff that she can go through, and you can see from her statements about what she was on. And it's like, they said that she said he barred her, and then later that day, from her personal post on the internet, that day of the date she said she was barred, she's up there saying, oh, I really appreciate you for giving me a chance. You my uncle, you my daddy, saying some positive words about Diddy. And it's like, wait a minute, what person would say that after you get R by this person? And if you got R by this person, why would you travel to another location with this guy? All that stuff just don't even seem real. You know what I'm saying? So for somebody to be sitting in jail, and to me, you got a blatant liar right there. It's like, what? It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So this is the cross examination. Just real quick, I'm just gonna read these two little statements right quick that they was talking about with the girl. Cassie, what she was saying at the cross examination is like real crazy shit to me. But I mean, I ain't saying she ain't a victim. I'm just saying that this sound crazy. So it's like, shut up, Cassie. You know damn well none of this shit happened to you. But if you want to say you did, we wasn't there to know. So it say you were aware of the Me Too movement, not outcry of you. Why? She said, Mia, he said he was going to tell Cassie what happened. I internalized blame and shame. Still, which is the lawyer, who threatened to tell Miss Ventura about Mr. Combs supposedly sexually assaulting you. Miss Mia, Miss Ventura was in love, Mr. Combs. So I thought so. I didn't tell her I think it'd go down this way. Why didn't you respond? Great. Let's tell everybody what you did to me. Objection sustained. Let's move on. You said you have more obligation to speak up. Yes, now I do. Why not in 2017? I was brainwashed. Okay, you was brainwashed by Diddy. What, this nigga ain't got no magic. You know, he like somebody got magical. You know what you was brainwashed by? Money, lifestyle, rich world, rich life. Why didn't you respond? Great. This is Combs still. This is his lawyer. Why didn't you respond? Great. Let's tell everyone what you did to me. AUSA, the lawyer, the state, me the government. Objection. Judge, sustain. Let's move on. You said you trying to remember against this thing. Okay, I think I read that one. Judge, overrule. Okay, Mr. Combs, let's get you from the employment. Mia, I don't know why it was confusing. I was called back. Still, here he says he's only remember the good times. Mia, yes. Judge, overruled. Did you see this as your CV? Mia, let's looks like it. For a vision, still you went to James Madison University. It's a well-known institution. Sure, and you were a design assistant. Yes. So he basically trying to say you went to school for a heavy duty degree at a nice college, but then you ended up being a design assistant for Diddy and them. Was this a thing that you think that you was just gonna put on your resume and come up behind it, like you was gonna get this? This gonna be something to benefit you and boost you? And she's saying, yeah. So okay, now then that you had the job, what are you in here doing? Basically trying to sue the person who you work for because it was going to benefit you in the future. So the lawyers is kind of got a good angle with that. You know what I'm saying? It's not exactly saying that you knew you was going to be victimized, but you knew that within the victimization you was experiencing, it still might be worth it to put this job on your resume. That's what he's going on in that particular little exchange right there. And he's saying, you knew about the Me Too movement. Why didn't you just go ahead and say something and expose him? And she was like, well, I didn't want to, he had me brainwashed. It's all these reasons that it don't seem logical to the regular human. A person would just be like, this person disrespected me, this person hurt me, this person making me feel weird, this person talking down on me, is this person sexually assaulting me? All these things will make you be like, ain't no way in hell I'm putting up with this. With this asshole, no more. I'm going and I'm complaining and I'm making some kind of statement about it. And then you talk about 2, 3, 4, 5 years go by, months go by. You travel from this state to that state to that state with this person. How are you going to make somebody believe that they victimized you and did something negative to you if you keep being around them? It makes no sense. So it's like that is not going to be something that can stand up as far as being a strong point because it looked like you just kind of like was where you wanted to be. And whatever you benefited from it, it's not for us to even judge. You determine what the hell you want. Maybe it was fame, maybe it was fortune, maybe it was the drugs, maybe it was just travel, maybe it was a name recognition on your resume. That don't mean that the jury is going to believe what the defense is coming about. And in this instance or any other instance in a cross examination, they might look at it like they bullying this girl. Like she was young at the time. She looked at it like I'm 24. This guy's a billionaire. Like how would I not want to be around somebody who could possibly give me a better boost in life? And if he being egregious or foul to me, I never had a job like this before. I never been in this kind of in predicament where somebody billionaire status is going to make me somebody he talk to on a daily basis. I want to keep that relationship going. I can't see his demise down the line. I don't know if he's going to be caught up for some sexual problem or whatever the hell he got going on. I just know he's a billionaire. Every time I look on TV, they talking about him. They throw parties. He the one got the nice outfits on, and he contact me every day saying, "Hey, can you get this done? Can you get this done?" Yeah, he might be a little like this or a little more like that, or I might have seen him act like this or treat that person like that. But at the end of the day, he's still a billionaire. He's still on the news. He's still in the newspapers. Why would I not want to be here around this? Otherwise, I'm gonna have to go work at some job in some cubicle or some area. I'm not gonna be around a boss. I'm not gonna be around a millionaire. I'm not gonna be around a billionaire. They definitely ain't gonna call me to do shit. And then when I'm gonna use my credential of we used to be at the nightclub at 4 a.m. eating mollies or taking mollies or whatever the fuck they do. How can I use that as a job thing in the future when the boss is somebody that own a mattress company? He go to bed at 5 p.m. or 10 p.m. at night. Like that just can't translate over. It's like I only can utilize this in the music industry. So if I'm an assistant to somebody like Diddy, then that means I gotta go be an assistant to somebody else like Diddy. You know what I'm saying? So otherwise, I'm just wasting my life in this kind of career. You know what I'm saying? So these are the reasons why they're asking her those questions. Like, what was the reason you would be around somebody like that if ultimately you could just go find you a job, a real job, and not even care about somebody like Diddy. Like I don't even be around people like that. I'm a respectable individual and I respect myself and I'm gonna be at work. and at a job. And then when I get off, I'm gonna be with my puppy, I'm gonna be with my kid, I'm gonna be in my house, or looking at Dancing with the Stars. I'm not gonna concern myself with what some millionaire need at some hotel or whatever the hell he got going on. I don't give a damn who he called. So these are really life choices. You decided to do these things and you're a grown up, but can't nobody make you see the detriment or the foulness that could come about from being in that predicament. So they could go all through these long-winded, long, drawn-out courtroom debacles if they want to. But at the end of the day, these are basically just disgruntled employees. Because if anybody job, I don't care who you are or where you work, it's a high possibility you're gonna hate the job. You're gonna not like it, and everybody there gonna not like it. And if the person do like it, it might be just the person who got a raise, or they own it, or they not. Nobody likes work. Nobody likes going to work. Nobody likes. They like the payday. Most people like getting hired. And most people like Friday, you know what I'm saying? But a job, no matter what the job is, you're gonna be like, this is where you could be working at NASA, you could be baking cakes, you could be, I don't know, whatever fun stuff you like. You could be swimming all day, you could fucking be working with horses, you could be podcasting, and then you'll just be like, after a while, like, I'm tired of this, man. We're humans, so we get bored with routine. We're gonna get bored with the norm. So anybody at any job, even a president, is gonna be up in there and be like, "Do we really gotta run this thing today? Can we get just a time where ain't nobody running nothing?" And you got to work every day. It's nonstop. It don't end. So these people took these jobs with a Diddy or whatever assistant, even a girlfriend, and now you mad. Now you pissed off that it ended, or he ain't gonna change his ways, or none of the things that can make you or anybody in their right mind be like, I ain't dealing with this, man. If he say something else to me like this, I might snap. If they act, look, I done had jobs where it was like the second day, no cap. I'm in Hollywood, matter of fact, second day, and a dude said some wild shit to me, and it was like, what the fuck did you say? And it was like, and by the time I caught myself, it was like I had already said everything. It was like, damn, I caught myself like, damn, maybe I should have just, but it was already out the door. And the guy, who was kind of a gay person, he started crying. Like, I'm not used to that. I'm thinking like he came at me kind of foul. He gonna come back, with a statement. He didn't. He started letting tears come down his eyes. I'm a big old black dude and shit. This nigga started crying. So you sitting there shocked, like, what the fuck am I gonna do now? I didn't hit him or nothing like that. He didn't hit me, but it was just a shock to me. I'm like, damn, this motherfucker started crying. But this is because this was a job that I probably shouldn't have had. I wasn't supposed to be at that career because of my personality and how I'm made up and who I am. So that don't mean that person was evil or bad or more. He that's how he kick it. So that's who he is. So when we came in contact with each other, it wasn't a good fit. I couldn't be up under him no 4 years and then dealing with the mental anguish of this person talking down on me or treating me some foul way. And then I'm walking around for months and pissed off. And then eventually I go to HR and say, hey, I'm dealing with this over here. This guy been treating me like this. And then they be like, what? Oh my God, you should have been told us. We're going to start activating. And then you sitting back like, finally, I got some justice. This is not a fucking movie. This is real life. So if you're going to be in a predicament with somebody treating you foul, you might lose everything, but you're going to gain and contain and maintain your self-respect, your dignity, and who you are. But if you lose yourself, i.e., like some of these people who run with Diddy and them and doing their stuff because of what they consider to be more important than a dignity, or more important than a self-love, more important than a self-care, mental happiness, then they're gonna have a complaint later on. This is what they're doing today. Like, well, I can't believe he treated me like this. I can't believe he said this. I can't believe this motherfucker acted like this. Well, you could have walked away any day. You could have got up and said, what? Man, hell no. Because I mean, I used to say this to myself. Like, say you see somebody to make it in the industry. I don't care. You name it. It could be an actor, a singer, whoever. They used to be, when I was younger, they used to be on like TV shows like Jay Leno, Jimmy Fallon. They were at night, like 10 p.m. They would get on those shows. They'd talk about it. They'd actually eventually, well, how did you get started? What was your first movie? And then a lot of these people would tell it. Some people would even say, I was homeless, or I was working as in a restaurant, or I worked at my parents' job, or I just drove across the country. I didn't have nowhere to fucking work. I just worked, and then I put resumes in. Somebody gave blah blah blah. They tell you their story. So you hearing these stories, and I remember just capturing just as a kid, all the way up to a grown up, how many times somebody said they was homeless. How many times people say I was homeless, I was homeless, and you hear it. It's not like unique. It's not like the people who do have and have chased their dreams to the point where they ain't got nowhere to live and they just living in the car or ain't got no car and they just keep going, and God give them a triumphant moment. So if and I used to think to myself, especially like when I was just telling you back when my past times of having some beef with somebody in Hollywood, I used to say to myself, is it important to go to that extreme to make it to homelessness, right? Because obviously you see homeless people walking around or in the trains or wherever the hell you at, and they might be like looking really bad or pee smelling like pee or just so much stuff. You be looking at them like, oh my God, but I just feel bad for them. You can't understand why somebody would do that. You know what I'm saying? But who are these people? Like what did that to them? You know what I'm saying? So I would always wonder to myself, like, why would somebody go to that extreme to get these jobs or work somewhere or be at the start of something, but you had to be so low that you was homeless to get there. So if I ever had to go through that, I would be like, fuck that. Whatever the thing is, I'm not doing it. It ain't worth that. It's nothing is worth my sanity. Now I might could step in a car or I might could sleep outdoors here and there, but not like to live or survive or work a job. That this to me seems crazy. But that's just me. It's other people, in the world that have done it. So to me, and I used to think of the rappers who I would hear about making it, Master P, 50 Cent, you name it. I don't care what rapper it is. And I used to say to myself, you never hear rappers saying that. You never hear rappers saying I was homeless, I was living in the streets, and I mean maybe one, maybe three, maybe two. Out of all the rappers that came up from the '80s to the fucking now, you never rarely hear that. You rarely hear that. Most rappers that talk about how they sold crack or they did some kind of drug dealing activity or they whatever. They know they're not saying, yeah, I was living in my truck and then when I got out of my truck, I went in the club and rapped and then the girls came after me. You do not hear that. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things they used to make, and I obviously been a hip hop fan, watching rap all my life. That would trigger my brain. So I can understand why people would put themselves to such an extreme. But then when you talk about the Diddy and the baby oil, and you talk about the Diddy and the stuff that they are proclaiming he did, then there's all again a question of where's your dignity, where's your self love, where's your self care, where do Diddy stop and you begin, or where do Diddy end and you begin, or where do you end and Diddy begin? Like is it all like this mesh? And so if the people have in their brain that they're meshed, intertwined with Diddy, that they're not just necessarily working for him, that they have become a part of him. Like I'm Diddy. I'm not just the guy who work here in the back. It's like he can't fucking function without me being there. He need me. Nobody else is getting his stuff like that. When he needs somebody to get his shit for the cleaners, I'm the guy doing it. They begin to become a part of him. You understand what I'm saying? He going to say, hey, how many you want? He asking them when it's time to order some shit, whatever it is. You want, okay, give me 25 more for yeah, and he's sitting back like he thinking about me. Like this, he care about me. He making sure I got some. So it's just little things that could ruin your psychosis being around somebody at that level. And then again, like in most things, everything comes to an end. And so now you're not around Diddy no more. There's no more party. There's no more get-togethers. Don't nobody want you to show up. If you come there as a problem, they looking at you like, "What the f are you doing?" And you sitting back like, "What y'all mean? Like it's me. I thought you no, get out. You gotta go." So it's like nobody want you, and then the money stops. And I said most times at this point, the drugs stop. Could you imagine being around Diddy at night or in the weekend and any kind of drug you could think of is available right there? And it's not the first day. It's any day and every day. It's no matter where you are, overseas, in America, in a high rise, in the ground, on a fucking car, and wherever you want to go, the drugs is available. Any kind of drug, whatever you into, you can have access to it. Whatever the pink this, or the Molly that, or the fentanyl that, you can get your hands on it. When that end, and now you got to try to get your own money to get it, but you probably got an addiction because you've been around this nigga for years, so you can get your hands on it. But eventually, it stopped. You ain't around him. Maybe you got fired. Maybe you quit. Maybe he stopped doing that particular venture, and now you out. How you gonna get your hands on it? How you gonna get in the club at 3 a.m.? How you gonna afford to get some more? How you gonna even get around the people who you know who you can get it from? And then you sitting back like, so it's no phone calls. You can't contact him for nothing. What the? Your mind can't take that. And you've been telling your family and friends, oh, nothing else but about this. And now you back around them. You went from being never seeing folks to you at the crib every day. You hitting folks like, what y'all doing later? And they like, we at work. What you, huh? Well, I don't get off till 7 o'clock, man. Straight up. Thought y'all be at the crib by 3:30, 4 o'clock, man. It's boring as hell sitting around here, man. Like, when you ain't gonna go back on the road with Diddy? Man, I told you, man, me and dude ain't even. They still seeing the hype, like, man, I can't believe you ain't around dude no more. And then boom, everything come out like this. So now it gives you a victim stance. Like I told you, it was crazy around here. Like I can't believe it. But when it was fun and it was up, you wasn't calling the police. This is why none of those people really have a stance when it comes to the stuff, the victimhood that they proclaim. Because just like anybody, you could have called the police. You could have made a complaint. You could have went to somebody of authority, whoever you decide is authority, and said, yo, what I'm experiencing right now is catastrophic. But the fact that a decade can go by, 10 years, and you don't say nothing, not even a release report, not even a harassment form, not even a order of protection, nothing. That's what you call complicit. That's what you call a person that's down. That's what you call a person that's witty. That's what you call a person that no matter what's going on, sign me back up. It's like going to the MMA, but you got to get slammed on your head and kicked in the gut in order to learn how to fight MMA. You can't just go read it and then put the pictures on the wall and stand there and do all the shit that it says do, and then you think you're going to be a black belt. No, you have to go in there and somebody got to punch you in the eye, take your hand, twist it backwards, flip your ass upside down, and elbow you in the stomach. You like, ooh. And then they say, get back up, get back up. You sit back like, what the fuck just happened? I can't even breathe. Get up, get up, get up. You like, you climb back up. You doing your shit again. You chop your ass in the neck, hit you in the eye, hit you in the gut, stump your foot. You like, man, hold on, man. Chop your jaw. You cracked. This is what it's like. But in order to keep doing it, to be a winner, you got to go through all of this in order to get there. So it's like they went through a lot to be around somebody like that, but it's not an MMA fight. It's not a, you don't get to showcase your shit at the end. It was a job. It was a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? If you work at Foot Locker for 7 years, 10 years, you don't get to go to people's crib with boxes and shit and be like, look, man, I got new shoes. I'm gonna put all y'all shoes in these boxes. Whatever. You have to lead a whole thing of shoes and boxes and getting shit off shelves alone. And you have to figure out a new gig unless you go work for another store like that, Foot Action or whatever the store is. Otherwise, you're done in the industry of shoes. So you can't go to some big party and be like, here go the best shoemaker. And so that's what those people get right now. They get to come to court, and it's almost like you get a chance to the last hurrah of his assistant, the last hurrah of his security guard, and they're just really disgruntled employees. You can be at a job and not like nothing and get fired. You can be at a job and not like nothing about being there, and you don't get a severance check at the end. They don't give you payment to leave. You just stop working there, and it'd be like, I gotta find another job, and that's it. And if you was in good standing, you could use them as a reference. But if you wasn't in good standing, you can't use them as a reference. And some of these people, Diddy actually gave them a check. Diddy gave him a check at the end of the gig. He was like, okay, you suing me, here go, take the money. Here, get it, take this. 400K. So if you got 400,000 to leave a job, this is when it's over with. You ain't getting a check no more, so you sue for whatever you sue for, and then they give you 400,000 of money. You get that though, right? It's in your bank account. Now you see him go down, you pop back out, and you start saying, yo, remember when I sued him? This one went down, this one went down. Your case over with. It been over with. It happened before all this happened. But you was just like, I gotta throw my hand in there, see if I can get some more money. These are called money grabs. And ain't nobody saying Diddy perfect or he did the right thing or he's somebody that shouldn't be brought to justice or shouldn't be brought with scrutiny. But the reality is that some of these people are very, very suspect with their mentality and their actions. And they still got to be called out because he's a black man. And they don't need to be railroad nobody just because he became successful. Because technically, he ain't have to hire your ass. You could have been somewhere working a regular job, whatever you chose it was, and this would not be your reality. So some of it is your choice. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, I want to talk about this mass shooting dude because dude went crazy. And you've seen the footage, and it's like a double thing to me because You could shoot up a situation in a city and don't nobody shoot you. If you see the dude he's standing outside, if you see the dude, he's standing outside naked, nothing on, and he running around this motherfucker not getting shot. That be blowing my motherfucking mind. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? He's standing right here with Molotovs in his hand, both hands full. And this motherfucker is not dead. He's not shot. He's not murdered. He's not killed. He's not even hurt. Blow my brain up. And everybody, nobody is what the world be. They say when there's black people, nobody's fearing for their life. Nobody's scared. Nobody's nothing. It's like they just walk up to him, put handcuffs on him, and take him to jail. And it's like, what the fuck just happened? But that to me, it shows the really sickness of America. And you got to talk about it, because why would they put that out there like that? Why would they showcase that guy dangerous but not being dead? It don't make no sense. And he could easily get away with murdering or hurting, setting people on fire. That don't even make sense. I can't even believe some shit like that could happen. But what can you say? What can you really say? Let me see if we can play some audio, because I don't know if these channels will tweak on you for playing the actual videos and shit like that. I don't feel like going through all that with YouTube, because YouTube is really tweaky when it comes to people videos being played. But I can't play the audio. You know what I mean? That's something we can play.
Multiple charges after allegedly attacking Colorado demonstrators with a makeshift flamethrower. The FBI Danielle
That alone would show you the hypocrisy right there. They don't let black people be illegal in no capacity. You can't have a non-ID. You can't have a non-driver's license. You can't have a non-insurance in your car. You can't have non-registration in your car. You can't have anything illegal. Even if you got a gun, you better have the right proper shit. You better have it loaded. You better not have the bullets. All of them better be properly registered and properly stored. All of these rules and regulations to dominate black people and put us in these boxes that if we've been driving down the street and getting pulled over, you better have everything so succinct. And now you got to even have a proper attitude, because they'll turn around and say that their life is on the line, or their life was in jeopardy, or they could be getting ready to feel like they threatened. And you sitting back like, I just was running to the goddamn gas station. You could see the gas station from here. I'm just going right there. And they like, nah, fuck that. So now you got a person who ain't even got a fucking visa, but they don't have a system where they'll round her up, and if you look like one of him, pull over and say, show us your visa, show us your visa. But in the back in the day, in the slave days, they had slave codes, and you had to walk around with a form saying you was a free slave. And if anybody pulled you over or stopped you at any point, you had to show that document, or they could take you and put you back in slavery. That's the Dred Scott clause and all act and all that stuff that was happening back in the day. So now you got the guys that's not black. They different colors, whatever their culture is, white, Arab, or whatever you want to call it. And now you don't even have a way where they can. My brother said he watching from Pakistan. Greetings from you, Scott, my cock family. Appreciate y'all, man. Dope name too. But he said that they're not allowing black people to actually have the same freedoms, and so all the other cultures could come to America and not be impeded. Nobody's watching you, nobody's checking you, nobody's running forms. You can't. There's no way to document to see if the people are legal or should be gone because of their visas. Now, as a black person, if I was in somebody's country and I stayed over my visa, it would be fucking seconds before they'd be like, you illegal, you over here. Even in Paris, you locking your ass up because you're supposed to be gone. You over here extra month. They even did this little boy, what's his name and shit? Yasin Bey, the rap dude. He used to be called, forgot his real name on the rap side, but he was with the Black Star and all that. But he got caught up in one, I think it was in South Africa or something like that. And he got caught up on the visa. They had him in jail trying to lock him up. It's like international news. I think they kicked him out of the country, saying you can't come back here because you're not following the rules of what a visa means. So when you hear people say that they run out their visa and they still in America, it's fucking egregious. It's like, where's the fucking law and order? Because they will be on our ass. They even had stop and frisk in New York. Stop and frisk meant just walking down the street. The police got any right they want to walk up to you, stop you, frisk you, and see what you got on you. There ain't no stop and frisk for people who come to America illegally and have fucking Molotov pop bottles in their hand that could burn up 20, 30 people at one time. It's no motherfucking stop and frisk for that kind of shit. But you stopping guys that's black because they could possibly have a gun, the gun that you make and set in their damn neighborhoods. Man, this shit is like literally a movie. It's like AI in real life because you can't make this shit up. It's like you can just show a depiction of it through AI and be like, wow, that was so fucking amazing. But actually living it, it's like, damn, you know what? Is this fun? Are we like in a fun action movie in our whole life? Is this big fun action movie that we refuse to fucking participate in? But if we was like Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of them fucking Stallone guys or some shit, we'd be playing within this shit. Diddy just popped on here too, matter of fact. Dude, he just popped on here from his cell. Welcome, my brother. Hopefully you'll be holding yourself down in that prison or jail cell. But anyway, yeah, so it's like a real crazy thing to see the different reality that we had to live as black people. We live in some kind of suspenseful movie that none of us we refuse to play in, but it's still happening around you. It's like you can't you can't get out of it. You can't step out and look at it over there. You got to be within it, and you're an action hero, and everybody playing their part. Everybody's a star. Nobody's a non-star. Whoever you are, if you're black, you're a star in your own movie. You just gotta live. You gotta do what you do. Whatever you're doing is fucking beauty because you got the cameras being filming us from every direction, every angle, every way. Then if the police walk up on you, you got a medium shot. So it's like you are being watched. You're being seen. And now you might as well just play off like a movie. Because how a boy didn't get killed in Boulder, Colorado last night is next level. But let me listen to some more what they got to say.
Former FBI agent Brad Garrett.
Former
Alex,
FBI.
what's the latest
Oh, these are people they
investigation?
just talking to.
Well, Diane, we know investigators are trying to piece all of this together right now. They were at his Colorado Springs home overnight. That was about 2 hours away from.
I want to know how old boy got arrested and how he didn't get
If
shot.
you want to learn how to edit,
that's the only thing I want to know. Why nobody life was threatened, or nobody felt like this was a moment that you could die when they got the guy standing right there with two Molotovs in his hand, literally in his hand, with his shirt off, like he looked threatening. In no kind of way he don't, but he get locked up with no incident. And they can say whatever they want to say about what he did and how he did it and why he did it. That's something
Like you guys have done us for 5 years.
determined. But when you talk about in a country like America where people like in running from police, in pursuit by the police, or even walked up on and it's dark, or walked up on and they supposed to not see his hands, or even just walk up on and they got a gun, but it's in the glove compartment. You know, these things are clearing. It's almost like the news is not telling you about this scenario that happened with this guy. The news is telling you how they treat other people, even if they even more egregious than a kid. Like for instance, the young kid, I think he was in Ohio, and he was in a supposed stolen car, and they jumped out and ran away from the police, and the cop just pow, 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 killed him, which led the father to take his vehicle and go kill another cop the same day or the next day or days later. And it's like, whoa, you see how it's actually playing out. Like they was able to kill that kid within fucking 6 seconds of him arriving to the scene. And you don't even know what's going on. Like if the kid is being threatened in the car, like they trying to kill that kid, or somebody hurt him, or maybe he got a P road. Like what the hell is he running full speed for? But the fact that you're not going to chase him, and you know your bullet goes faster than the person, it's easy for me just to mow you down with the gun. And who gives a damn about why you ran? Maybe you shouldn't run it, but he did. So it gives you these reasons to make you want to understand why does this happen. But there's somebody with two Molotov cocktails and people literally on fire in his vicinity can get gone with no guns, no shooting, without incident. He's gonna be studied when he get in jail. They're gonna take him in the back and they're gonna wonder, why did you do this? Who do you work for? What are you? But when the person that's black get caught in these same scenarios, nobody gives a damn why he did it, or who he worked for, or what the hell he did it. It's like, that's on you. You 16, you 19, then hey, we'll make a message to everybody within watching the view. Do not end up like that person was. But this guy get to go to jail and be like, guilty, not guilty, no contest. They get to ask those questions to him. So it's crazy.
Yes. The suspect in a horrifying flame-throwing attack in Boulder, Colorado, is due in court later today. Police say 8 people were injured in the assault, which the FBI is investigating as a possible terror attack.
Possibly.
Man with a forklift setting people on fire.
Fear and chaos captured on this cell phone video as a flame-throwing attack unfolded at a weekly Sunday gathering to support Israeli hostages in Gaza.
One person caught on fire from head to toe, and they were burning up. The whole body was burning up.
Stay away. It happened on Boulder's Pearl Street Mall.
You can see it.
Who rushed to douse victims, aged 52 to 88, with water, while the suspect was seen just feet away, yelling anti-Israel comments.
And it's crazy because you could literally see him standing right there yelling out, and got the Molotov still in his hand. He yelling whatever he yelling. So apparently these elderly people go to this place. They was doing a march. You know how people get together on the weekends or whatever, they go to the mall, they go to wherever, they start walking somewhere. So they walking for Israel. So they've been walking since the attack in October a few years ago. So they've been walking every Sunday. So they get around there and they meet up downtown. These older people, 52 to 88, they're just people, right? So they hook up, they go for a walk. So obviously this person heard about it, he know about it, he don't like them, or he hate them, or maybe every weekend when they get there, it's people in protest of them doing the march. So maybe the other people just show up there too because they know they're doing it. However that work out. So when they get there to the place, everybody at the same location, this guy arrives this weekend and he starts doing Molotovs. And Molotov is liquid alcohol inside a bottle, and it got like a t-shirt or some kind of fabric that allows you to light it, and then he throws it and it hit people. Upon impact, it's on fire, you on fire. And it's hard to get this out because it's liquid. It's not like just lighting your shirt on fire. It's liquid that's off of alcohol. It's inflamed. It's crazy. So it could kill you. Obviously, the impact, the strength of the fire. You on fire. Imagine all the stuff that's going on in your mind. So they say, the witness say that the second one, he didn't. He tried to throw another one. But as he got ready to wield it, it leaked on him. So he got set on fire himself. So he said he took his shirt off. He took his one of those kind of bulletproof vest things off, and now he's still out there shirtless with the rest of the Molotovs in his hand. But people are on fire around, and I guess people was trying to move him from the cement to some kind of grass, whatever, so they could try to help him get out of fire. And the people was probably calling ambulances. It's just really one of those horrific scenes because you can't imagine somebody 52, 88 years old being done like that. It's like, what the fuck is going on? But these people just be having an issue with you, and it's strong. They believe in what they believe in, and no going back. It's just official. It's locked and loaded. So it's crazy, but it is what it is. So just as far as he was saying,
police say 45-year-old Mohammed Solomon used a makeshift flamethrower and bottles filled with flammable liquid.
It is clear that this is a targeted act of violence, and the FBI is investigating this as an act of terrorism.
Homeland Security said Solomon had overstayed his visa. It expired in 2023, and he was in the country illegally.
People are being targeted at Jewish events just by gathering and being Jewish.
Susan Rona of the Anti-Defamation League is concerned about a spike in anti-Semitic violence and says the problem starts with words.
Let's have awareness of the language that's being used and normalized around us that ends up with violence. And
it's crazy when it's enacted back towards them when they feel this much where words can be used as a weapon. When you call black people niggas for hundreds of years, you call black people 3/5 of a human for fucking hundreds of years. But now all of a sudden, people have gotten on to some kind of hate train with other cultures, and now all of a sudden we supposed to be so aware of how things go on and how words can hurt people and incite incidents. Like, what? It's like the secondhand smoke of dumbness. It's like, what are you talking about? You perpetuate the things that spin back around and affect you. Not saying they did it specifically or that lady did it specifically, but it's a culture that you don't fight back against. It's a society that you don't stand up towards. that actually you can watch it all unveil and happen before your eyes, and you don't really have no wherewithal to want to fight it or say nothing about it. Then when it affects you in some kind of way, the same way, now all of a sudden it's, hey, these words, man, what they saying, what we saying out here, it shouldn't be said. Like, what? You should have been with this. You can't see that. But it's just show you the hypocrisy. And there's no, this guy's not finna go to no damn jail. He ain't finna get locked up for this. He's gonna be free as hell. And he's gonna be somewhere telling them about why he was involved with some other type of people that's in the same mindset. And then they're gonna be like, okay, cool. Well, that's all you have to do is tell us. We'll use you as a witness or some shit like that when we catch the other people. And that's most times how they go. They're not gonna let this guy go sit down because you see they didn't even kill him. Most times, anytime, if they would have wrote on a black person doing some shit like that, they didn't kill motherfucking black people who was in their car driving funny in one of those type of locations. And they'd be like, yeah, you threatening with your car. You almost hit a police officer. They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. And you got to speak on it. You got to talk about it. Whether y'all give me roses on TikTok or not, or whether y'all give me like buttons or hits on YouTube or not, you got to talk about it. That's why the world is filled with conversation. That's why a long time before any of us was born, because they knew what the world was before we was born. The white dudes that was in charge, they said the first law of the Constitution is freedom of speech. Because back in their country, if you said something back in Europe about somebody who they didn't like, they locked your ass up. And they didn't give a damn about how you felt about it. You went to jail. So now they don't have that rule. Now they like, no, you can say what you want to say. You can speak and talk your truth, and it's okay because this is America. And America means you can talk your truth here without reproach and without people coming after you. So in that regard, it's kind of good to speak your truth. It's kind of good to have a truth to be spoken, because otherwise you're being shut down or shut up for no reason. Because who is the other person with the large voice? Think about that. What if you're an idiot? What if they dumb? They the ones who get to talk because you scared to talk. What if they stupid? What if they self-haters? What if they anything? And that ain't something that you like. Then you got to sit there and let them people have the control of the thought they don't necessarily need to have. That's just my opinion. So I'm a transition into this situation with Tariq Nasheed. He was talking some dope shit. I know y'all know who Tariq Nasheed is. He one of the dope brothers that talk all that stuff on the internet. He got a lot of conversation, a lot of Black Power conversation. So I want to talk about something he said. And I'm going to let you hear it first because you can hear what he said, and then we'll talk about it.
Which was a plantation. These were prison camps. No, these are prison camps. What happened when we got, after slavery, when we got our so-called freedom, all that lynching?
I think it's sooner than this because it's really dope about.
We have to label it as warfare, ladies.
Yeah, it's right before this. It's deep, man. It's like stuff, so it's gonna scare you.
To call it what it is. In contrast, stories about Black suffering are basically filtered, delayed.
And I can give you like a gist of it. He's talking about
well-established political advocacy groups at AIPAC, the 80s.
It's like
what to immediate consequences.
What we call
and accusations of anti-Semitism, career loss, public shaming. In contrast, anti-Black behavior, slurs, policies, there's really no consequences from the dominant society. Not only are there no consequences, shout out to Alonzo Dunn for the super chat. Not only are there no consequences, damn it, you get rewarded. You get rewarded now for being anti-Black. Like that white woman, Shiloh, cursed out and called a Black special needs child the N-word, who's like 5 years old. They gave that woman $1 million in social media money and crowdfunding.
That's real shit.
They frame the narrative from their perspective. So if they were to tell the truth and show you that their systematic anti-Black violence is actually warfare, that would imply intent, strategy, and moral accountability. And that disrupts that whole myth of American exceptionalism.
That's real shit. And it's like, okay, so the 2 points that I was trying to get him to point out, he's going to talk that shit on this video. But basically, he's saying that what black people have been going through is literally a war. It's not just racism. It's not just white supremacy. It's been a war because it's been going on for 400 years. Now, we don't really look at it like that because how are we going to fight back? Well, what is our defense? It's not. You know what I mean? We kind of just go on with the punches. But he said by framing it like that, then it looks more understandable when you're talking about reparations, because the reparations line is one a lot of people don't want to respect. However, they do understand and believe in and have to respect that the black people have been through a lot in the 400 years. But now, since slavery, it's so many other systematic things that black people have experienced. And that's what he was talking about. One of the things that we have to stop doing is calling white people white.
Reparations claim should be framed in the context of war crimes.
Saying reparations should be framed in the idea of war crimes, because that's what black people are dealing with: redlining, mass incarceration, food wars, health prescriptions and all that shit wars. And how do we fight back for that? We don't have enough doctors and hospitals enough to do all those things in our own regard. So it's like, it was just a dope ass podcast. Y'all got to go listen to Tariq Nasheed.
That's an example, and we got it in an area where we're doing. Yeah.
I wanted y'all to hear that part where he was saying, "Quit calling white people black."
We can fight that. We're talking about redlining and real estate. We can fight that. But boy, immediately there is hate crime, all targeted hate.
I just love that part.
That really misdirects a lot of attention from the broader network of the collective action of these white supremacists and their policies and their infrastructure that maintains white supremacy. Yeah, the man. Yeah, Dr. Welsing told us about saying the man. Yeah, it was the white man, and then in the 70s it was like the man. Dr. Welsing warned us about that. Don't say the man, because when you say the man, you make the white supremacist the end-all be-all and the epitome of what a man is. Because Dr. Welsing wrote this down. She said, really starting in the 60s, 70s, we started using these terms that infantilized us. We are in a childlike state. The white supremacists puts black men and women in the position of children, because you become dependent on these people and you can't really move and operate without them having a hand in what you're doing. So,
and that's key, because a lot of us as black people, it'll be easy to feel sad or unhappy because you're not inside a white network. You don't work for Caucasians. You don't have a job with them. You're not in their schools. You're not in their programs. You don't have a certificate from them. You didn't get a diploma. You didn't get a degree. Any of these things, that's really dumb, because as soon as you get that, you still got to go get you another Caucasian to accept you. No, it's not. It's like a network of stupidity. And then they got you set up where you would go get a loan or something like that from some other white people who are going to hunt you for years because you can't get a job from these other white people because you went to school with these other white people. So it's almost like the network of dumbness is still wrapped inside whiteness. And so in order to remove yourself and find yourself in any kind of way of sanity, you have to move out of that dumb shit. How can you? When you got a light bill, a gas bill, a kid, a daughter, a dog, the fucking car note, a fucking pair of shirts, you need to get some drawers, some socks, some soap. You can't. So it's a never-ending cycle of sinisterness that you can't never move your brain from, because this all we've been doing is trained to have to go to them and ask them for something. And then in a lot of parts of our culture of blackness, if you are not accepted in that world, or if you don't get it, it's other black people who will diminish your value. They'll look down upon you because you can't go get your white people. You can't find white people, or you don't have enough white people. It's a sick cycle. It's even inside our culture of blackness. You wouldn't even believe some shit like that was real, but it's the truth, because most black people have this desire to go and be accepted by white folks, even though there's nothing but sinisterness in some of those realms. So that's why he said, stop saying white people, stop paying white folks, be more specific. Don't generalize the statement, because then you diminish the helpers, like the other cultures that don't like black people, but they'll try to exacerbate what they believe white supremacy is, or what whiteness is towards us, even though they might even be in our communities or neighborhoods selling their shit. They might have a liquor store, they might have a gas station, they might have a nail shop, they might have a chicken shop right in our community. And then you go in there and they treat you shitty because they think that they carrying on what the psychology of whiteness is and how they think the racism should project. But then in a lot of ways, they're not doing nothing wrong, because what are they even doing in our neighborhood? Selling shit. It's crazy. You know what I mean? They shouldn't be selling shit in our neighborhoods. They should be selling shit in their own neighborhoods. But they don't. And they don't even definitely don't sell shit in white neighborhoods, not to the extent that they sell in our neighborhoods, but they think they can perpetuate the white supremacy ideals. And that's what Tariq Nasheed is talking about at this particular point.
You start calling white males the man, you start calling black women mama, you start calling yourself boy, my boys, my homeboy. You refer to yourself as boy, homeboy, boy. And then you refer to where you live as the crib. So she broke that down very, very heavily. And that psychological mindset is still there, where we have a lot of black males with a infantilized mindset, where you look at yourself as a minor. That's why so many artists, what's the most common names that rappers have to this day? They got Young and Lil. Young Jock, Young Jeezy, Young Dro, Lil Baby, Lil Wayne, Lil this, Lil that.
Facts.
And I'm not saying that to denigrate these brothers. I'm just giving some psychological context from like the work of our scholar warriors, Dr. Wilson and Neely Fuller. You see? So we have to be very careful with the words we use and how we internalize these words. We got to be very careful about that. Right. Every rapper every rapper calls himself Young and Blue. Yeah? You turn yourself into an infant.
And that means you don't have power.
Baby, little baby.
So that means that if you turn yourself mentally into an infant, but then you keep saying anything regarding white people is the man or a man, then you automatically making yourself weak and somebody who needs approval, somebody who needs acceptance, somebody who has to go through somebody else who you already even told yourself is an enemy. You already believe is an enemy, but you can't progress. You can't have a speak. You can't have a statement. You can't make an opinion. You can't have a debate because you feel like it's going to make you miss up or mix out on what white people have to offer. And that's just stupid, because at the end of the day, we all came on this earth, regardless of who you are, the same way. And that's through our mothers. Nobody that's a human got on this earth another way. Now, when you got here, if you decided to be a man or a woman, that's your choice. But we came here the same way. You can't decide that you got to the earth another way than through a woman's body. So if you came here through this way, then that means we all even when you get to this place. Now, you could make money be something that's differentiates you from other people, if that's what the hell you make differentiate you. Somebody from the NBA can make jumping high, make them be different. Somebody who runs far, somebody who has a fear of height, don't have a fear of heights, that can travel to the tall height of a mountain. Somebody who maybe fly a plane, somebody who love the grass, somebody who is a horticulture. I don't give a damn what you are, who you are. That just make you who you are, but it don't make you better than another person. These are the psychological strengths that you have to not be feeling like somebody else is above you because maybe a bunch of folks agree, or because there's a lot of them, or because more of those folks is look alike or something like that. These are all things that have to happen in your mind first. And then after that, you can let those things be something that you bring to life through your experiences. But it got to happen in your brain first. But if you believe that nobody's above you and you're not above nobody else except God being above everybody, or if you believe you're above somebody and that's how you got to tick through life and that's what make you go through life, neither one is illegal. Neither one is wrong. Neither one is not good. It's your life. It's how you experience it and how you want to be in it. So this is why sometimes psychological understandings is good to know. You know what I'm saying? Saying words, what words are you using? You know, we all agree that they have to spell a word in order for it to say, in order for you to understand how it's broken down. So cat is C-A-T. So you use a spell, but some people believe that words have a spell in them. By actually saying some words, you put a spell out there in the world. Some people believe that. Is it the truth? Is it not? Who knows? It's your choice. But again, at the end of the day, these things should make you be strong in order to not put somebody above you mentally or not put something above you mentally. You know what I'm saying? So that's it on TikTok. I'm gonna let y'all fly. Appreciate you and thank you for watching. But now we still on YouTube for a minute. And I wanted to make sure I talked about these little scenarios and shit like that, because that shit had made me think. And I was like, yeah, I like these subject matters, and I don't have no fear of talking. I might not get on here as much as I want to, but I definitely got no damn fear of talking. That couldn't be me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk my shit. And it don't matter if I get people following or watching and shit. That's not really what's important to me. What's important to me is talking my shit, because I got a lot to say. So I'm gonna let y'all ride out too. I think I talked my shit for enough on here, and I'm gonna jump into my day. You jump into your day. I'm gonna hit y'all up in a little bit. We're gonna talk more about it. Peace. I think I gotta stop it over here. So let's get to it. All right, y'all. Much love.